Welcome back to my channel. I just spoke to my latest subscriber. He made a little donation. I told him leafy greens, that's my favorite food. Next time try it. Some of them Grant greens or Jackson greens or Dr. Benjamin greens. But anyway, y'all may have watched my people always tell me to don't be so negative, man. And so I'll start by some positives. You saw I had a fairly decent little suite last night, which I got a better rate than most people did. And I really had to. And I finally, in quite a while, I went shopping and selected I think it was about an 18-ounce ribeye. And it's really my first time I've ever tried to cook meat on an induction stove top. It took quite a while to get it done right, but I normally use long time, low temperature anyway. I'll have it up high, put the meat in, try to seal one side, and then turn the heat down. And anyway, and please hang around. This is like two separate videos in one, so it may go 10 minutes or so. When I came back, I went like, oh shit, because when I left it, I had the new blanket I've never used. Nice lady gave it to me. It was bagged up, but nicely hidden. I had my oversized sleeping bag, 40 by 80. Love that thing. That, and if I wrap myself in blankets before I get into it, I can handle 0 degrees. Especially, actually, with what I got on now, because I found a new layer at the same store that caught a lot of flack for selling children's tuckable swimsuits, tuck friendly. You get my Jeff, and they've caught a lot of heat in the press, and rightfully so. It's okay. I'll mention Target. Fuck Target anyway. And so, actually, I found this. Cost me $30 though. Found a cardigan type, so it won't ride up. It's actually one of the best things, and it's pure cotton. And the outside is smooth, but the inside is like a kind of a real heavy but short nap terry cloth. Good for trapping dead air and insulation. When I came back, it was, I checked in early, and because that's why I cannot give them a good review, is that the bed sagged. My back feels weak. My back was feeling weak before I went there. What I need is the very firm beds at the first place I went to in Pflugerville, where, the place I went, their outdoor pool was heated. You may have seen in a video that it was constantly, they had 2 jets that were constantly blowing up hot water to keep the pool usable, year round. But at the other place, they keep it heated and it's indoors and it's the same size. But when I got here, I'd left it to where, you just mostly see a black wheelchair. There's a black bag with that big sleeping bag in it. And that's one of them real good, and like 10 mil plastic bags, just puncture proof. And came back, and there were 2 brightly colored bushel bags of stuff that just at first glance, and that's part of it. What I don't like is I try to not. The only time I'll wear like a bright color is in a shirt. There you go, cerulean blue. People treat me different when I'm wearing it, and you can't even see that cardigan. Oh, that's that final layer. See, I got it all fairly tight now. I would still may need a heavy jacket if we really start getting down to, below freezing shit. Actually, a lot of people thought it would freeze last night because the cloud cover left, and they were messing with it actually only got down to what was originally predicted. It was somewhere down around 37, 38 degrees. And that was this morning, just before sunrise or right after sunrise. It's still At most right now it's only about 40 degrees and I'm totally comfortable. You notice I'm not wearing my usual robing, but let me try to give you a little hint as to what I'm talking about. That's what farmers would call more than a bushel bag. The paper bags that you used to get in the grocery stores you can't find anymore. That's a 1/4 bushel bag, and that's a full bushel bag. Monstrous. And I finally saw there was a little note in there from my benefactors, yeah, and with their phone number on them, telling me to call them anytime if I wanted something or needed something. I'm touched by your display, but this is a lot of this stuff. I just don't know where to put it. And you're making me look like I'm setting up a hobo camp here, which is exactly the opposite effect that I'm going for. This needs to look like a place where just an old man stops to have a cup of coffee and lounge around during the day. This cannot look like a camp. And actually, the Target bag there, that's actually got Canadian bacon and bananas in it. I carefully selected what I ate and there's the other bag, which is a full bushel bag. That one's actually about 1.25 bushels, and it's actually tied, if you can see it there, to my wheelchair. I guess they didn't want nobody to steal my wheelchair. Trust me, there's really not much of a market for stolen wheelchairs, especially they have serial numbers on them. I own this chair, it's registered to me. Now I want to talk about something that I've been telling my best friend about. It. Yesterday was the first time in exactly 30 days that I had been in a hotel. I paid for it this time out of my go bag money. I'm a shekel squeezing Jew. Just because the Christians give me money doesn't mean I'm going to go piss it away on drinking, drugging, or crap that I don't need. I'm the really kind of the person that I know that I really can't. My go bag was exactly right at 10 pounds, barely. That includes the weight of the bag. And right now it's right at maybe 11 pounds max and stuff. Got to do my laundry there and stuff like that, and cook some first really decent piece of beef I've had in a long time. But one of the first things when I got in there, I may have told you, is I couldn't smell any fragrances or nothing. And after a while of just kind of puttering around, shooting a video and stuff, then I went and tested the bed and realized that, oh shit, the bed on that side sagged, so I'd have to use the other side. Well, guess what? The other side sagged too. But the point is that I took my shoes off, and I may have gone and take a leak or something like that. But then, because I still wasn't, when I took my shoes off, I still wasn't picking up. And it's like I told my buddy Bruno, is that this is not a racist thing, and it's not a bad aroma. It's actually an edible, kind of spicy, kind of a, not sure exactly how it's happening. There's no germs growing in my shoes because I impregnate my shoes with, I'll try to say this slowly for the auto translate, benzalkonium chloride, the standard anti-infective disinfectant used. Please, you've actually consumed benzalkonium chloride anytime you go to a bar or anytime you consume some microscopic quantities of it. It's really, and some of them maybe there's this real light that goes away, but tropical splash, wet ones, not wet naps or whatever, wet wipes is a copycat. They even copy their logo a bit, but they're not as potent and not, yeah, some of their fragrances really suck. Anyway, I smell my shoes and I'm going like, damn, that's, if that were like a loaf of bread, spiced loaf of bread, I would eat that. It's not because I've been having to watch two spots that look like gangrene, but number one, it doesn't really fully fit, and it's not giving off of any foul odor. Even before I bathed, I did the finger scratch test in your pits, underarms, between the crevices, because I'm fat now, fat as a hog. Because the muscle is now, I may be at the same weight I played ball at, but instead of muscle now, it's fat. And, I was scraping like in the spaces between and I even, no, there's really was no, because I frequently use an anti-infective. It prevents, it's very persistent, benzalkonium chloride. And there was really, after 30 days of not bathing and not changing clothes, I was just beginning to look to, I was still acceptable to go into any business. But I was beginning to notice that, yeah, I'm starting to look a little less than, pearly white on my, you could see a little bit of, and I was just so amazed that I'm tripped out at that aroma. I didn't even wash my shoes this time. I actually only brought a couple of packets of the wet ones with me, and it left the other like 6 or so remaining packets in my duffel here. But I took anything that was valuable. That's my go bag. I went there with one change of clothes in that bag, 2 pants, 1 shirt, and I came back with 2 pair of pants and 1 shirt. Same thing. And the only other new thing I bought, I'm wearing. But you know why? I don't really, because number one, I don't exert much. I don't really, especially in cool weather, I don't perspire, and I don't drink hops, beer, or and I don't eat spicy foods, and that's why I have almost, even during the summer, I can go a month. It isn't until the salt becomes apparent that I will go bathe, find some. I'm a kind of oh god, we got some big ass truck that's trying to negotiate that fucking corner. So there was absolutely, when I'm going in there, I really primarily had to go in there and take care of the 2 edema seeps that I have, because they've been looking kind of nasty, and I bandaged the one on my ankle and then removed that bandage this morning, and I could tell it was actually collecting too much. It was beginning to superhydrate the tissue around it, and I don't want that. Sometime today I will take the new bandage that's on there, either replace it, or because I actually would need a ton of it. I'd have to put a big bandage on it to last for several days before, it has to be super absorbent, a large mass of absorbent material. So, y'all people have given me all kind of shit. I don't really care. Sometimes think that your opinion means anything to me. I didn't even smell pee, even when I went in there. And you should be smelling pee, but you know what? I rubbed that area, even on my clothing, with benzalkonium chloride, which stops the fermentation of the urine. So I sat there for a long time waiting for, the blowers or the air movement in the room to see if, with my nose right over it, whether there's any, because I get smelled up by everybody around here. And they don't object. I don't see anybody giving me the snuffle, stink eye, sewer gas smell of, ugh. No. And I've really got to stick to my diet. There's one new subscriber, is maybe watching right now. He's got a meeting in Starbucks. Well, no, he can't. I haven't uploaded this. But I feel somewhat refreshed mentally, because I really completely detached myself from the internet and really didn't watch TV. I had 2 giant big screen TVs. The remote was actually kind of hidden out of, because I'm tall, sometimes I can't see it. It was right by the Gideon's Bible in the nightstand. And actually, I was right. I asked the lady at the front desk because this is one of the biggest problem that local hoteliers, because the hotel that I was staying in, it's actually two, La Quinta and Hawthorne, owned by Wyndham. And they run some like ghetto hotels to the south of here. They own the Motel 6. It's just nothing but junkies and meth heads and drunks. And in kind of central Austin. I was trying to, oh, that's the only thing that bothers. It's one thing they'll get a negative. They had those new things where it drips in oil on some sort of a hot thing, and there's no burning of cellulose or charcoal, or like in usual incense. But last evening in the lobby, when they had two of them, I guess to kind of please the incoming, cover up any others. Actually, the housekeeping there is very good at La Quinta Hawthorne and stuff. They keep them. They got a big crew in housekeeping, and they worked really all from early morning to. I didn't even hang around for breakfast because I didn't trust the possibility of getting something cooked in, like eggs might be cooked in palm oil. And also, when I pointed out to the girl that at 6 a.m. Actually, I went out at around 5:40 to smoke a couple cigarettes because I'd already been awake by 5. Didn't need my alarm like usual. I have an alarm called the bladder. And so I went up, and they use Community Coffee, which is one of my preferred brands. Consistently delivers good drinkable coffee. And so I was apparently the first one to prime the pump and get the first shot out. And she was coming out to check on, she was trying. Then I said, "Ma'am, that coffee's about 105 degrees. I'd like my coffee 160. Oh, I can heat it up for you." And I go, "Well, these cups are not microwave. I have other cups." And so I was right then. And plus, I usually don't have an appetite in the morning. Think about it. Last night, all I really ate was banana. Yesterday, before my Uber pickup, I ate 4 hard-boiled eggs from 7-Eleven, which are usually okay. Starbucks has got good hard-boiled, and my gut tolerated and stuff. But one of the reasons I checked into a hotel is I could tell right after the cannon blast that it was, and actually it was fairly good in control because I used Imodium, but I could tell that there was going to be another one sooner or later. Even though I immediately took, I think I actually only took, I may have taken 2, but I've taken more Imodium today to guarantee it doesn't come back. But yeah, this morning I had another loose, but not watery, but that's less than optimal. I know I sound like kind of a butch version of Sheldon Cooper, scientist, genius, and shit. But you do need to watch your bowel movements, just like a mother watches her child's bowel movements. It indicates whether or not you're eating the right food or whether you're sick or. So I'm just amazed at how well benzalkonium chloride is working to help keep me. I have used it for years now. I'm going into my 3rd year of being on the streets. I think I'm going to let the litigation on my home just lapse. I just don't want to, because my new neighbors, they're really don't like them. They're breaking the law and getting away with it. They're kind of bullyish. They're kind of because they're connected. A lot of them are connected to the local kind of Czech mafia. Yeah, I don't really know. I just kind of taking it one day at a time. And this morning I'm rested. I know not to walk much more because I'm better sleeping on concrete or the wooden bench that I sleep on because it doesn't sag. When it sags, I don't know how anybody, if you're young and you like them saggy, soft beds and the way your postures and stuff tells me there's nothing wrong with your spine. People, I hear young people all the time bitching about their back, and I point out, well, maybe it's because you're like, sitting all slumped all the time. Your posture's horrific. But I'll end with this. One of the first signs that you're eating the wrong stuff is number one, your nose, your mouth, and your anus will tell you that you're eating poison. God gave you these senses for a reason. And number two, if you have bad body odor, that's because of what you're eating, or you're not actually, because when you're an athlete, you can eat all sorts of things, but you're excreting those toxins so quickly, like in football. We wouldn't, you know, have body odor. We'd sweat, but we wouldn't. Part of that, though, is because I grew up bathing at least like 3 times a day. And you do as an athlete 3 times a day. And that's one thing I want to point out is in that bag right there, one of the things that's right on top is like a half gallon of mouthwash. Is that a little hint to a bunch of water? I don't know what all else is in it. I really don't even have much of a smoker's breath because I don't really inhale deeply. I try to brush my teeth fairly regularly. How are you doing? I rode the shine chain. Anyway, morning update. What the hell is today? 28th? Something like that. And I'll end with this. I appreciate your acts of bringing like all these supplies, but they're more than I can handle right now. They're more than I can handle physically. And to tell you the truth, some of it may end up in the dumpster because I don't want, especially those bags have got to go somewhere. I'm not going to sit here with 2 big ass bushel bags. Each one of them has like 4 or 5 colors of them. I really don't. I don't like that kind of gaudy, multicolored, not in my dress, not in and around me at all. I like things simple, plain. As a matter of fact, I'll take a plain, well-behaved, intelligent woman over the hottest chick any day. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife.